Before complaining about your Christmas gifts this year, listen to the story of a girl named Claire and the Christmas she lived in 1880 in the frozen mountains of the American frontier. A Christmas that nearly cost her father his life. And that would end up changing all the celebrations of that family forever. Claire was only 12 years old, and even living in a small cabin isolated by snow, she carried a simple and innocent dream: to draw. On the top of a piece of splintered wood, she sketched everything she saw: her grandfather sitting by the fire, her mother sewing, her uncle's cabin on the distant hill. But her charcoal was running out, and pencils out there were an unreachable luxury. Her father knew that, and he promised that before Christmas he would try to fetch a small gift for her in the nearest village. A simple box of pencils. Or if that wasn't possible, at least a better piece of charcoal for her drawings. But to do that, he would have to face a long journey with frozen trails, wild animals, and the worst enemy of the winter frontier, the snow itself. On the morning he left, Claire felt a sudden pain in her chest as she watched him disappear from her window. When he passed the fence, she ran out the door, filled her lungs, and screamed as loudly as she could. "Dad, you'll be back before Christmas, right?" He smiled, a radiant smile that, along with his parting words, made the girl melt into tears. "I'll be back, my girl, even if I have to cross the whole world. And I'll bring you your gift." She smiled, truly believing every word. But that winter, even promises froze. The next night, someone knocked on the door. Claire ran, thinking it was her father. But when she opened it, she saw her uncle. He stepped inside with his head lowered, hat in hand, breath unsteady. He said a sudden blizzard had hit the trails, that they searched for hours, and then for days. But they did not find her father. Claire tried to be strong. She tried to believe it was just a delay. But when her uncle finished the sentence, that it would take a miracle for him to return, she collapsed to the floor, crying as if the cold had taken over her chest from the inside. That was Christmas in 1880 for thousands of families on the frontier. Waiting. Uncertainty. The struggle to go on. 3 days later, Claire overheard a conversation between her mother and her grandfather. They spoke about Christmas, the traditions brought from Europe, that Christmas tree where people made wishes. Claire had never seen a decorated tree. In that region, that was newspaper stuff, not for poor people like them. But that night she decided one thing. She would make her wish. And her wish was only one. "I don't need any pencils. Just bring my father back to me." Since they were too poor to buy a tree, and since this custom wasn't even common there, Claire decided she would cut one down herself. She hid from her mother, took her father's axe, and went into the forest. But the axe was far too heavy, and she was just a small, fragile girl. She spent hours trying to bring down a small pine tree, and only managed to tire her arms and scrape her hands. The next day she went back, and the day after that too, until her mother found out.
"Claire, you could have been attacked by an animal, or worse."
"None of this will bring your father back." Her mother took the axe from her and hid it. Claire cried, not because she wanted the tree, but because she felt that without it, she had no hope left at all. Her grandfather watched everything in silence. He saw the light fade from the girl, her face turn pale, her voice disappear, until one morning he entered her room and placed something on her bed. It was an axe, not her father's, but one borrowed from her uncle. Claire's eyes widened. Before she could ask anything, her grandfather said, "If hope is all you have left, then I will carry it with you." She smiled for the first time since her father disappeared. Grandfather and granddaughter walked together into the forest. Claire showed him the tree she had been trying to cut down for days. Her grandfather took the axe, looked at her and said, "Do you want to try first?" She tried. She failed. She tried again and again. She did not give up. Finally, together they brought the pine tree down, clearing snow, branches, dirt. They dragged the whole tree to the cabin's door. Claire was covered in snow, dirt, and determination. Her mother, instead of scolding her, put her hand over her mouth and cried. That night, the three generations sat beside the fireplace, held hands, and together made the same wish for the Christmas tree. Bring him back home. That was all they wanted. 1 day passed, 2, 3. The 4th arrived, and with it, the feeling of defeat. Her mother, already hopeless, said they would remove the tree that afternoon. That was when the door burst open. And there he was, her father, with tired eyes, the face burned by the cold, but alive. Claire ran and clung to his neck as if Christmas had walked through the door. Her mother broke down in tears. Her grandfather tried to hide his, but could not. When the embraces finally eased, the father knelt in front of his daughter. He unrolled a small piece of leather. Inside it there was something simple as it was true. A few thin sticks tied with string and a fragment of charcoal. "I couldn't buy your gift, my daughter, but I hope this will do instead." Claire stood speechless. Then she smiled, as if she had received the greatest treasure in the world. And to her, it was. That night, that family, who had never celebrated Christmas, had their first. Not with luxury, not with great feasts, not with expensive gifts, but with something that life on the frontier taught them. That sometimes simply being alive together with your family is already the greatest gift. And when Claire told her father about the tree and the wish she had made, he looked at the girl, at the mother, at the grandfather, and understood exactly why he had managed to return. And after that day, that family never again spent a Christmas without a Christmas tree in their home. For them, that pine tree cut down by a 12-year-old girl became the symbol of the hope that kept their family together. And that is why, before complaining about your gifts this year, it is worth remembering in 1880, a piece of charcoal was already enough to